All right, hello, everybody, and welcome to Game 3 in the series between BFrobber and susreime as part of the Super Metroid Multi-Category Extension Tournament. I'm Glove, and I'm joined today by Professor School. How you doing?
Glove, I'm doing so well. Very excited to be joined by you on comms again. And for those of you who are with us just over an hour ago, you saw Stream defeat BFrobber in an 80% all bosses match and force rather this decisive final game. So what do we have in store for us today? Kind of a weird one, right?
Yeah, so Nintendo Power Percent is a bit of a quirky category, I'd say. Basically, back around the time that Super Metroid first came out, Nintendo Power published a guide, beating the game quickly enough to get the original time, or like the best ending, should be a cinch, with this guide. And it gives you a specific set of items and an order in which to get items and defeat bosses. And with Nintendo Power Percent is the category that follows that guide to the T as far as item and boss order goes. So what this means is that like route deviations are effectively nil. Uh, Pretty much the most deviation you can do in terms of actually going through rooms is like there are two you can green gate glitch uh, in Meridia. That's nearly it. So it's really all about movement. It's really all about room strats. And Nintendo Power does have some very interesting room strats, specifically in the Meridia section, which will look quite different from anything you're used to.
Yeah, the routing forces some really bizarre item sets that we're not used to seeing in a Super Metroid race. And yeah, as a result, we're going to see some kind of peculiar things that our runners might be forced to do. But I think some people find it a little bit annoying, but I actually do find it like a fun little Easter egg of a run. And it's produced some really exciting races for us over the course of this tournament. It's been raced, I'm looking at the sheet now, just about as often as any other category. It is not one of the ones that is getting ignored by any means. I do not see that the BFrobber has raced this category yet. Stream has raced it twice, coming in with a 109 and a 110, both really, really solid times. And so I'm sure that we'll have the capacity to see some really nice stuff here from Stream and BFrobber. Tons of interesting strats in his race toolkit. So we should have a good one on our hands today.
Yeah, absolutely. We see susreime using the Japanese text there. Susreime is one of our known Japanese runners, and that Japanese text is nice because it definitively shows us how to pronounce database.
Nice series times from both of our runners, a 45.27 for BFrobber, a 45.80 for Stream. Actually very similar to what they posted starting off in their previous race. And this is it, folks. This is winner takes all. Both of these runners did come in with one loss to their record in this double elimination tournament. Stream going down 2-1 in a really, really exciting matchup, and I'd say maybe the upset of the tournament so far, with Iron Rusty winning a very, very nice race there in a set of three, and BFrobber making his way down through here after a loss in the first round, and now both of them playing through in this redemption bracket, and BFrobber trying to sandwich himself between both comms here. I was fortunate enough to take a win off BFrobber in round one, and with a win here today, BFrobber I think would actually face you in the next round, Glove. Is that right?
Yeah, frighteningly, that is correct.
Yeah, I do not envy the person who needs to take the winner of this matchup. So good luck to you, Glove, with whoever ends up winning this race.
I've made my peace. I'm content to just stay in my little corner and grind North Korea percent.
Well, certainly we've seen BFrobber veto North Korea %, but I think
Yeah.
susreime is definitely one of those runners that is not at all frightened to run that category. Very happy to do so. So if that ends up being the result, maybe we'd get a pretty hype NK matchup between the two of you. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, susreime, if you're listening, I won't ban GT Max if you don't ban North Korea.
Ooh, I like this. I like this. We were getting some potential insider scoop into the next round. A little bit of bargaining here between Comms and one of our runners. Let's go.
Of course, none of that's set in stone. Either of these players could take it. We've seen two really neat games. Truly anything can happen in this last match.
Yeah, I'd say overall we had a very clean any % all bosses. Both runners, I think both runners PB'd. If not, BFrobber did have a very, very good race, but susreime was just that much better and PB'd himself by about 50 seconds compared to the first race, which was a GT Max, which you were on comms for, and was just a total chaotic fest, as you described it earlier.
It was really something. GT Max is so volatile from beginning to end. And GT Max is neat in being a category where it's like, you go from low percent type loadout at the beginning of the game to just full hundo loadout. And that's not what this category is. Nintendo Power Percent frequently has you going through rooms with loadouts you would only ever really find in like a randomizer. Like
really nice BT fight there from susreime. Of course,
absolutely.
this is kind of an interesting one. You don't see this all that often. You could theoretically see it in North Korea %, depending on the routing and item sets that our runners choose. But because of the item set being fixed in stone, based on the Nintendo Power Guide, you do come into that BT fight with 10 missiles instead of 5, and that really does change sort of the dynamics of the fight and how you have to approach that. Really whacks that you don't normally see.
Yeah, I mean, like it makes enough of a difference for the BT fight that if you're getting Brinstar Sealing E-Tank, you always get beta missiles. Of course, here we don't get that Brinstar Sealing E-Tank. The developers of the guide perhaps had not quite figured out that deboost just yet.
Or Taco Tank in this case.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe if you give them a few more months, they would have gotten onto Taco Tank.
Well, I don't know, because people complain about X-Ray being routed in the way that it is and what the purpose of it is, but I'm pretty sure X-Ray was in there because the developers of this guide knew that you needed to protect yourself against a potential problem with stand-up glitch. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, actually, it's kind of an interesting tidbit. Most of these runners, we can't say for sure what the intent of the people rating the guide was, but it's generally accepted that the guide runners actually expected you to super jump to get to GT missile. So anytime that our runners take the slow route, that's what they're doing.
That's
wrong.
right. That's right. And don't blink twice here and be confused by exactly what's happening. But we are in Big Pink, and neither of our runners have super missiles. That is correct. This route, much to the chagrin of the muscle memory of pretty every Super Metroid speedrunner, does not pick up the early supers. This is a sort of more as intended. There is no sequence break with that early mock. You go down, you grab these Donect missiles, you grab the charge beam, and then you go up to this. God, what is this? What room is this? I don't recognize this. Is this like a save station or something? Or oh no, I guess this is a mini boss.
I think this guy's called like Boreon or something.
And Boreon is a great way to describe what this fight is like compared to any % all bosses, which is a one-shot fight we saw before. This could be a very, very painful fight. And you saw just a reason of why that is the case. You're coming in here with just missiles, and susreime, who has the capacity to 2-round, which is very difficult. Spore Spawn was hecked by some of those particles in the air, only got 2 missiles in the first round. Did get the nice stun lock there to open the mouth and get a couple extra missiles in, but we'll get, at the absolute minimum, will be a 3-round here.
Oh. Yeah, that wasn't what susreime wanted there, I don't think. I think he wanted at least one more from that phase.
I think that may have been an attempt for another stun lock, but it's really hard to do that in round 3 or later because of how quickly Spore Spawn is moving. Yeah, and that's the consequence of going for that stun lock, if in fact that's what susreime's doing. Because now you're talking about a 5-round fight, and holy smokes, you can see just how long it takes in between all of these phases. Oh no, goodness gracious. Spore Spawn, go home. This is such a frustrating fight when you are running this category, and especially if you are up against a PB with any kind of a reasonable, 3 or even 4-round fight, to get that 5th or 6th round, it's maddening, because there's nothing you can do but just sit there and dodge this horrific mutated GMO plant.
Yeah, and susreime shows off the whole reason that we do the Spore Spawn fight is to do that moonfall there to get to those supers. I believe that this is the biggest time save from any single moonfall in the game.
Oh, you obviously haven't played Free the Decor RTA. I'm pretty sure that's a bigger time save. But you know what? Now I'm gonna have to just be 100% sure. It's really close, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I want to say that this is like what is it, about a 3-second time save here in Nintendo Power Percent when you hit that moonfall?
I don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah, and it's actually similar in Free the Decor RTA. It's like a 3-second time save. So now I'm really, really curious. I feel like this is one of those kernels of knowledge that is really fun to have on comms, is to know the difference between those the time saves on those 2 moonfalls.
Yeah.
But either way, both of our runners getting it, and BFrobber closing the gap a little bit with what appeared to be a 4-round fight versus a 6-round fight for susreime. So a nice opportunity there to capitalize on an opening that susreime provided.
Yeah, now our runners here will be picking up Spazer, and Spazer, the perhaps oft maligned beam, is actually pretty nice for a lot of Norfair strats. Sometimes Spazer can just act in lieu of missiles if you have enough time to fire the requisite shots. But also the fact that it is so wide can come in handy. Especially for stuff like, I believe last time we saw BFrobber use Spazer to go up Bubble Mountain. Or no, BFrobber wouldn't have done that. One of our runners used a Spazer charge shot, I thought, to ascend Bubble Mountain. Regardless, it's a very nice item. And you may be surprised here. You didn't miss susreime entering into Kraid's lair and defeating him so quickly. We have to pick up high jump because this category can't expect us to do wall jumps, except when it can.
Yeah, it is absolutely one of the most bizarre routing choices in here, is to bypass Kraid's lair entrance, which in no way I see as a sequence break. But I don't know, for the comfort of it, you come down here and get high jump. And I don't know about you, Glove, but it seems like runners who are new route Fantune first, any percent runners, are very happy to have Nintendo Power go and pick up high jump. But runners who are Kraid first, that high jump for that Kraid quick kill feels just bizarre. It is a very uncomfortable thing if you're used to one way or the other, with or without high jump boots.
Yeah, and this is where we say rando runner supremacy. We're used to any item set.
Yep, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Credit to the random runners for being able to deal with pretty much anything that is thrown at them. Not like some of us fools banging our head against the same route every day for months on end.
Yeah, it is definitely awkward though to be going through Kraid with high jump but not speed booster. I'm hard pressed to think of instances where that happens. Maybe I guess like one of the low percent categories that picks up high jump. But I think all of those are PAL only shenanigans anyway. So already it's gonna feel different.
That's right. And susreime actually completely negating everything that Comms just pointed out, because why bother with whether you have a high jump or not? Just set a bomb and let that propel you. It's a really nice strat. Adds just a little bit of lag to the room, but it very nicely standardizes that Kraid quick kill.
Yeah, and BFrobber opts for the 4 super Kraid quick kill. Another pretty useful option.
Yeah, and
And I
executes it
think
very
something that,
nicely.
yeah, I think it's something that's really good to know. There, it's good to have as many ways that you can do Kraid quick kill as possible, I think, because sometimes things happen.
Spazer actually gets quite a bit of love in this tournament, doesn't it, Glove? Obviously, a requisite pickup here in this category. Not every runner opts to use it in North Korea percent, but boy, does it really make a lot of those upper Norfair hell runs and some of the Meridia rooms very, very comfy.
Yeah, I mean, I would go so far as to say everyone who's in this tournament should be picking up Spazer for North Korea percent. It's actually pretty hard to make it not worthwhile. Because like you have to be, let's see, you have to be able to do Botwoon without any charge shots whatsoever. It helps out in Norfair. It makes Meridia so much cozier.
Yeah, and you can see just right there, susreime blowing through those hoppers with no issue whatsoever, using that Spazer again to a very difficult actually farm
Yeah.
of that Sova there. Really, really elegant stuff, showing off what Spazer can do for you in this early game. I know most people routed into their 69% also, and of course it's something that you're going to be using. Well, I guess not using, turning off, and hopefully not using in GT Max, right?
Yeah.
If you're using it in GT Max, you've got some big problems.
It's a safety that some people will go for the Fantoon fight.
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, I guess I was thinking. I was thinking at the actual GT code phase.
Yeah, so yeah, this phaser in every single category, at least one route picks up Spazer.
Oh, that's right, because any percent all bosses, those Fantoon first runners are often going to be picking up Spazer as well. Yeah, and here we're seeing one of the stranger decisions in this Nintendo Power routing is the pickup of these Bubble Mountain missiles. They're really hard to get to. It's totally against the normal intuitive muscle memory that goes with any kind of category that does something in Bubble Mountain. Unfortunate there, King Cack reigning supreme over the top of Bubble Mountain. BFrobber getting a little bit hecked there.
Yeah, I think of the like quote unquote strange decisions this category or this guide has, I'd say Bubble Mountain Missile's probably the most defensible. Like if you're, if you just have to bang out a guide, you're probably not thinking about like, okay, how is this going to affect traversing a room?
Oh, are we going to get this?
Beautiful.
Oh, look at this. susreime carrying that short stored spark all the way through and allowing him to shine spark across the top of Bubble Mountain. One of 3 primary ways that you can get across there, but definitely the most swag way for sure.
Yeah. So just as I defended the pickup of Bubble Missile, I have no such love for this Norfair Reserve. Uh, Easily in my mind, the second most baffling choice. Uh, Presumably they expect you to infinite bomb jump towards it. The wall jump is, of course, possible. It's actually the same wall jump as the worst room in the game wall jump. But that is
Yeah, and is considerably more difficult than the high jumpless entry into
yeah.
Kraid's lair. So just really a bizarre decision there, right? You don't have grapple at this point, which is the intended way to get across. And I'm certain that the Nintendo Power Guide developers were not thinking about storing shine sparks through multiple rooms or deboosts off waivers.
hmm Oh, very nice deboost there from susreime into ice. It is possible to get that deboost off of the second fire gamer, but it's really tight.
All right, so we see about 20 minutes at the end of that item fanfare into this race. This will be a much easier one to compare for those who are with us for the any percent all bosses. Totally different routing options taken from both of our runners. In this case, they are absolutely tied in and committed to running exactly how the Nintendo Power Guide suggests to do. So it'll be very, very easy for you to take a look at one side of your screen or the other, and we can judge immediately where our runners are with in relation to one another.
hmm Yeah, so it looked like susreime got off that elevator like 43 or 44.
It's about 50 seconds on the ice touch time right now.
Yeah, BFrobber has some of that to make up here in this ice escape. susreime took a little bit of extra time with the strat. If Beefy gets this, that'll be quite a few seconds in that room saved, and he does, very nicely done. Ice escape with only one of the robots frozen is not easy by any means. And an impeccable red tower there from susreime.
Yeah, that's 2 races in a row now. Same with the early red tower climb going up to that early Fantoon fight in any percent all bosses, and now seeing it again with kind of a tricky beam combination. The width of that spacer beam can actually make getting some of those shots off kind of tricky.
Nice alpha spark there from BFrobber. And speaking of that alpha spark, it's probably good to mention. It's actually really interesting. You would think, oh, so that this is Nintendo Power percent, so you get a million items, and you never have to worry about resources. That's actually not true. Health is so much at a premium that effectively every single runner will take Sloter's refill before Meridia, just because you have all these damaging strats, namely 3 specific Shine Sparks that just eat away at your health.
Yeah, and in fact, the interesting that you point that out, Glove, because susreime in his first race, I think the first race of the tournament actually against Iron Rusty, did not take that Sloter's refill, and I couldn't tell you the exact number, but after all of Meridia, and we'll see in a moment just how damaging Meridia can be with the very strange route to Shack Tool and Spring Ball. At 2 different points in the run, ended up with single-digit health, including a very, very anxiety-inducing GT fight, where I think susreime may have been down to something like 5 or 9 health.
Yeah, susreime loves to keep us on the edge of our seats. I remember, I think it was either the first race in this series, or yeah, I think it was the first one in this series. It was either that or against P-Toil in GT Max. He going through Rising Tide after Fantoon actually, he messed up the room and had single-digit health, and actually had to weave around like the seahorses shooting the rocks.
Oof. Little super to the face there for Croc.
Yeah, interesting strat that susreime goes for here, using 2 missiles as opposed to a charge shot.
Ooh, couple Kojak supers, unfortunately. Croc not really behaving. Although not that many swipes. I think that's only the second or third one. It could be much, much worse, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Very different boss fights that we're seeing in this category versus any percent all bosses.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, susreime, you show off. So susreime is the only person I know of who has, in a run, successfully pulled off the horizontal infinite bomb jump across bowling.
Whoa, did you just see that short charge? Are you serious?
Yeah. I believe that's the same as the Mother Brain short charge.
Yeah, that's like 12 tiles or something like that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. I don't know that I've ever actually seen that in a live setting, not just getting ground out on the practice ROM.
It's not susreime's first race where he's done it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, of course, the stream there going for one additional chance for that that stored spike suit, which actually does save a considerable amount of time here from Indiana Jones missiles. You can use it to get across this room instead of having to go all the way back down here. Depending on how efficiently you pull it off, it saves somewhere between 6 and 10 seconds. And in susreime's case, with a little bit of the struggles here in, what is this called, Pantry? I don't remember what this room is called.
That sounds right.
Yeah, some of the struggles, it actually probably ended up being more like 15 seconds. So we'll see another chance for BFrobber to make up a little bit of time here if they can successfully pick up a spike suit.
Yeah, unfortunately, can't quite get it. Yeah, I was surprised when I learned how much time that spike suit actually saved. Because like the first time I ever ran NP percent, I got the spike suit because that's what you do when you're up against Croc. You go for the spike suit, and then I was like, okay, now what?
Yeah, so I actually picked up that idea originally watching Hero 82 do some early Croc runs. And typically that spike suit, obviously very critical for late Croc 100%. A big time save when you're going to pick up X-Ray, something that you carry that spike suit for quite a while. But in early Croc, Hero and a couple other runners, I think, actually use that specifically for that purpose, which is to pick up those Indiana Jones missiles and then make their way easily across to gravity. Oh, and that's very unfortunate, actually. It's just on the entrance back into the Croc room there. A susreime falling into that lava, and it does a ton of damage. And not only that, but he got stuck underneath that block and had just previously more or less filled up on health to those full 4 tanks and is now down at just 3.5. Let's just keep a close eye on that and see if that is going to make any impact in Meridia coming back down from wrecked ship. We'll see. We'll see.
What's susreime? Where he messed up. You don't get that missile.
Oh.
Yeah, he was supposed to go to wave.
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness, I was so focused on.
I was really confused, and
Oh,
like
that's
I
right.
literally opened up my splits to like make sure I wasn't wrong. That's a minute time loss. Plus the time that he actually lost having a very different route.
Now, so that's interesting because I would myself need a clarification on the rules for this. I know that getting the items out of intended order comes with a time penalty, but that's actually not an item that you ever pick up in this route, or do you?
Yeah, you never pick it up.
So do you get a penalty for picking something up that's not necessarily in order? I guess because it could theoretically help you progress in the route, right? So the penalty is still there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a mod, so
Yeah.
that would be a question to ask MGA or MM2 or someone. I can't say for sure. I would say I don't know. Yeah, that would be something to ask. We'll see if it becomes relevant if this race is within a minute. Like if susreime wins, but by less than a minute would be the situation in which it would be relevant.
Well, we will go ahead and check in with the mods to make sure that we have the precise information. Obviously, they will sort that all out. And in the meantime, we'll just have to hold our breaths and see what happens. Even without a minute time penalty, certainly going back through and having to go all the way around there is super inconvenient and a big time loss in itself, not going directly to wave there. But that is exactly what we've talked about previously in many iterations of comms, both tonight and in previous races. This is a 5-category extension tournament, and boy howdy, folks, keeping all of these strats straight for our runners is no easy task. Going to wave after Croc is just an absolutely bizarre thing.
Oh,
And
susreime.
oh no, look at this.
He didn't get it, unfortunately. So I believe it's if you have to enter the door and hit that grapple block on the same frame, and that'll basically teleport you through the room. I don't think it actually saves, like, I don't think even optimally it saves more than like a frame or something. But if you take any amount of time to set it up, it's not worth it. Yeah, I mean, it does look cool, and susreime is a runner who is known to do incredibly hard strats that lose time but look really cool. All right, and we do have official word from the tourney admins. The fact that it is already itself a time loss means that there's no additional penalty added.
Well, we'll see if that actually ends up coming into play, but certainly that is good news for susreime. Certainly changing the route and losing time there is not what you want, but knowing that you're not staring down the face of a potential 1-minute penalty on top of that in a race that could very well be decided by that amount of time is certainly a relief.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and here's one of the
some nice grapple strats here. Maybe let's see.
Yeah, one of the nice quirks about this category that I quite like actually is the fact that, you know, if you're not going for full ocean fly, you may as well just grapple across. Oh no! susreime here having a lot of trouble with this shine spark across ocean. You know, when you're in a race setting and you're panicking, even just doing inputs you've done a million times before can be hard. Like, obviously susreime is a very accomplished runner. Obviously he knows how to horizontal shine spark. But you know, when you're feeling nervous, I mean, I'm sure susreime is about as tilted as you can be right now, having broken the intended route. So I'm not sure if he's watching the restream or anything. I don't know if he's aware whether he's incurred a penalty.
All right, let's see what kind of Fantoon fight we get. We had obviously an absolutely stunning fight. Wow, I didn't even catch the stutter how many that was. But it looked really good based on the color of Fantoon. Obviously, in the any % all bosses, we had just a ridiculously good 2-round on-screen Doppler kill from susreime. Fantoon trolling a little bit here and giving that that rare slow pattern. And looks like the first round must have been either 6 or 7. I think susreime went for, got 5 missiles in there. Could have been a safety. Oh, and BFrobber on the right side of your screen. The exact same thing happened to him in the any % all bosses match. Just bonking straight into that wall there, trying to do the second half of this ocean fly technique, and then bonking again for good measure. A little unfortunate there.
Yeah. So notable for susreime's Fantoon kill as well. He actually just went for 3 missiles prior to the Doppler in the second phase. BFrobber just misses that speedball by a little bit. In my experience, the speedball into Fantoon is one of those tricks that's very consistent until you go on record saying it's a pretty easy speedball.
I think that's well said, Glove.
I love this attic. Oh no. Well, if there's any enemy to miss during an attic strat, it is right there at the end. That's the best way to fail that.
Yeah, it's definitely the last one for sure. Nice X factor there for BFrobber. I would say that this is one of those cases where Dopplering Fantoon is definitely preferable. I only say that because...
BF.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we're seeing here, is health can be a real concern in this fight. Fortunately, we got a couple big health drops there.
Yeah,
okay.
Beefy's getting health bombed, which certainly isn't what he wants. Thankfully, this category is quite forthcoming with ammo. So at minimum, assuming terrible drops, you know, he's got 7 supers to work with.
Yeah, and as chat correctly pointing out, if anything, with all of the ammo loadout that you get in this category, Health Bomb is maybe even optimal in this case, rather than leaving Fantoon with like 40 health or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, health concerns leaving it once you've made it through Wreck Ship. You're not going to be super worried about your health, as long as you don't take a really bad hit, because you will take Sloter's refill.
Right.
But obviously, crabs are scary.
Crabs are scary, and going into bowling, even with
Mhm.
Varia, if you're short on health, you know, things can compound, as we've seen in many times in this tournament already, very quickly. And BFrobber taking the advantage of this additional ammo to sort of farm up a little bit here. These atomics are very, very good about dropping big health, and a much more comfortable near 2 tanks here for Beefy.
Yeah, Beefy goes for just a little bit too low on that spark. I was about to say, generally more consistent strat, easier to perform. However, that spark, it's deceptively easy to miss an enemy. Yeah, so BFrobber's just taking this as safe as possible. Is he going for the spark? And now just going for a fast room entry. Yeah, I mean, I totally get this. I wonder if he's even flirting with the idea of skipping Sloter's refill.
It is a pretty nice time save. It's about 12.5 seconds or so, maybe 13.5 seconds to save, to avoid both of those transitions and the time you spend refilling.
And speaking of, susreime is in wrecked ship and did skip Sloter's refill. So we'll have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and we've seen this from susreime in previous Nintendo Power Percent runs. I'm not sure that he has taken the Sloter's refill yet. And you're about to see one of the reasons why it can be really dangerous very quickly. This is definitely the part of the run, for me at least, that is the most scary. You're going to do these 2 sparks here. susreime is absolutely intent on getting the second spark. And maybe for the benefit of his own health, does not get it. Will be up another 60 or 70 health or so.
Yeah, really, really good backup strat, though. With freezing those ears.
I'm convinced that this grapple block entry to the back door of Shacktool here is the worst single tile gap in the game, because you have to get to it from the sand, and it is just an absolute nightmare if you miss that first jump.
All right, susreime spending time with everybody's favorite buddy, Shacktool. What a stand-up guy.
I do approve of not doing the Shacktool damage down in order to save some of those frames from the lag reduction. Shacktool really hits like a truck, and I think in this case, if you can save that, I don't know what it is, 40 health or so, and not take that, well, there we go, we have our answer, 30 health.
Yeah.
Always preferable to not.
Yeah, generally that's not something you see unless you either explicitly want to damage down, or your health is so high that you can't fathom needing to use it as a resource later. Like, I think most people would say the frame saving isn't generally worth it.
Yeah, I just know personally, I've been in some gnarly situations where I've been just hurting for that extra 30 or 40 health, both from that snail hit that you can take there, and as well Shacktool, and I just don't think it's worth it. It's I don't know, this this room going back with these Evers they can get really scary really quickly if you get stuck in this sand on 50 health or something like that.
Yep. And the last of the 3 sparks, and susreime gets it. Nice. Perfect. Calculated. Now he just needs to not get hit by anything at all. Thankfully, Mama Turtle's coming right up.
I do like that decision to farm that crab there. Just in case.
Nice help.
All right, and not that many chances for green gate glitch here, but fortunately, susreime pulls it out after a couple of those short running attempts, and still being on 5 supers here, no problem.
Yeah, being a GT Max specialist, susreime is no stranger at all to the green gate glitch. And really impressive there from susreime using missiles to open that red door.
Yeah, and then following that up with a very long jump out over the top of the water in Mama Turtle's room, and just getting enough energy necessary in order to make it back up without that spark cutting him off before he was able to get to that precious E-Tank. And really, you're sort of just cruising at this point in the run, right? This is where the management part of the Nintendo Power Percent run really goes away.
Yeah, ideally, unless something quite bad happens, susreime won't need to be worried about health. Like, obviously things happen, Dragon is always going to be a factor. But 5 tanks is cozier than most other categories.
Definitely one of the stranger routing options, going from gravity at wrecked ship all the way to spring ball. That's I mean, I love spring ball. I think largely in the community it is, except for maybe some very notable exceptions, it's one of the favorite movement items, and you can do a lot of beautiful things with it. But going here, straight from gravity, just always feels super strange to me.
Yeah, also, notably, so it is possible to get Spring Ball without a wall jump. And without space jump. I don't imagine a new player really wanting to IBJ that. I mean, I don't want to IBJ that. And I've played this game at least 3 times.
Yeah, certainly it looks funny in the face of going to get high jump in order to, I guess, make the entry into Kraid easier. And then when you consider that compared to not only what you just described, Glove, in terms of getting up into the spring ball area, but just the demanding aspect of getting back out of there with the kind of resources that you have. It just feels very strange. You know, some of this feels like, hey, let's play the game as intended, and others feel like, let's do this fast, and other feels like, I don't know, why are we doing this? This is an interesting sort of thing.
And that was a buttery smooth mock ball into Botwini from susreime. This is a really high full halfy. You might be able to down back this. Yeah, beautiful. I love anytime you can get a full halfy where you down back and don't hit the ledge. That's just a million extra swag points to the trick.
Yeah, it feels very nice. There's actually one pixel position all the way at the top where you don't even need to down back, but that's a close haircut there for Samus that I don't think anyone goes for intentionally.
Yeah, full halfy's already volatile enough.
Wasn't sure, susreime, if he fell there or had a brief moment of also forgetting the route, but had to come back up for precious missiles. Not really any significant time loss, but nice to see he sticks with the route as intended, as written.
Gorgeous stray gun kill. I mean, that's what you want to see. And susreime the Mad Lad going for the stupid spike suit here. Because one of the factors to keep in mind, because we pick up Spring Ball early, we have to do spike suit setup with Spring Ball, which is just so much harder.
Yeah, and it was actually a nice bit of ballistics there too for susreime in that Dragon fight, coming up a little short on the initial setup with some of those X Factor particles and throwing in 2 supers in a very, very tight window of time in order to even get that blue suit in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Idle Child. I've actually gotten quite a bit better at the Spring Ball spike suit setup thanks to their trainer that they put in. So many tools these days available to the runners. Definitely a back in my day story, I'm sure, that a lot of the older runners can say about how they just had to grind out strats by going to a save station and making some sort of emulator save state or something like that, as opposed to, gosh, all the stuff that we have these days in our 2.2 version of the practice ROM. You can practice anything these days.
Yeah, and BFrobber, unfortunately, I think misses 3 of the X Factor particles. Has to expend quite a few resources on that Botswoon fight. And of course, Botswoon doesn't like giving you what you need. So, BFrobber has to decide what he wants to do here, because he doesn't have... Oh, he gets 3 power bombs. Okay.
Wow.
So he doesn't have to decide anything. I take it all back.
I think that may have been 6 again. Wow, that's incredible. That is a lot of wall jumps going into that.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's too funny. The drop rate on the power bomb from the Metroids has to be very low. I don't know if it's 2%, but they're overwhelmingly favored to drop big health or supers.
Yeah, the power bomb drop rate from I think it's Puyo's. I don't know if the red ones are still Puyo's, but anyway, that one is higher than normal. I don't know for the Machtroids though.
Yeah, it is. I think it's 18 or 20% for the Puyos, and it's reasonable that if you don't have any coming out of Bottoon, that you can get one out of those four. I think it's actually statistically less likely that you won't get at least one, but to get 4 power bombs between Bottoon, I don't know how many times you'd need to save state and try to get those drops, but that is some wild RNG.
Yeah. So Machtroids are 4%.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, BFrobber, unfortunately having a little bit more trouble here on this Dragon. He can finish it with a spark though. Oh no, just a bit too high.
Yeah,
it
and
was
I
a
would actually
clean
almost
missile.
go for a high spark there too, because at that low health, you got to be a little bit careful. If you hit the main part of the body there, you could get some really gnarly chain damage.
Mhm. Yeah, and BFrobber actually does get the bad frame, unfortunately. Worst possible outcome. Shows you were just one frame off from being able to get the trick. And your reward for getting so close is you lose your blue suit.
Well, we did see something similar happen in the first race tonight. BFrobber was able to pull out a really nice Wample jump, and
Yeah, and
just
here
like
we go
that,
again.
unbelievable, really, really nice.
Honestly, like, Spike suit is really cool, but man, I love the Wample. Like, I'm almost sad that the Wample got obsoleted. Almost. Yep. Good setup here for Blue Fireball from susreime.
Yeah, looks really nice coming through the door. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, good stuff.
Yeah, Powerbomb. Oh no. BFrobber.
Oh no. We've had some interesting spark mishaps tonight in these two races from both runners.
Yeah,
That
I
one
love.
not particularly costly, but actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, damage boost into Spark is such a perfect combo. And that was a cute, cheeky little deboost that BFrobber did there at the end of pre-Plasma Room.
Yeah,
GT
that's the one I
figure.
was referring to in the all bosses race that I saw originally in a Hoda Ruby run from 13 years ago.
All right, clean GT room from susreime. Yeah. Notably, even more so in Hundo, you have to be careful about picking up that GT missile, as it's not just a time loss if you fall down. Your run is invalid because you have no way of escaping the room without killing GT.
That's right. I do think for the purposes of this tournament, that just counts as a 1 minute time loss penalty and not a complete invalidation, because it's already so incredibly costly. 64, 65 seconds, I think, with optimal movement to have to go all the way around. But for the purposes of the race, it doesn't invalidate your run as an instant loss or a DQ. But certainly, if you're falling there and you have to go all the way back around, that is not the situation you want to be in any case.
Yeah, I had it happen to me the other day in a race, and it's just not a fun place to be. I think everybody will reach one point where they have the hubris to think, I don't need to use this lame spring ball to get across. I can just jump it.
And down you go.
Yeah. Especially since I believe it's a fairly laggy door transition. So that makes it even harder to space jump right out of. Beautiful double KO there from susreime. Yeah, interesting here that BFrobber decided to go southern route. This route is slower. If you're
Yeah, it may
also
just be
picking up
muscle
ice.
memory. I don't know. I've definitely done this before in my one of my PB attempts, where you just completely forget you're used to going south route and you just go down here again.
Yeah, I mean, I love south route. I'll go it anytime it makes sense to do so. Yeah, so to answer a question in the chat, can someone explain this category? So this category, Nintendo Power Percent, takes a guide that was originally published in Nintendo Power back when Super Metroid first came out. That gives a specific boss and item collection order in order to beat the game and get the best ending possible. And our runners have to follow that guide to the T.
And I'll just add to that, very well explained, Glove, but for those of you who are not familiar in chat, Nintendo Power was a magazine that was in print, and you could actually pick it up with your physical hands and read it. I know that sounds kind of bizarre these days, but it did not operate online, and they had physical offices and real print pages that you could actually go to the newsstand and buy.
Yeah, so a fun story with Nintendo Power. I got Nintendo Power very late in its life because I'm a Zoomer. But all of them had what they called the fandom section, where it was like people submit their drawings or whatever. And for the longest time, I thought that was a Nintendo term. Like I thought Nintendo Power invented the concept of fandom.
That's great. Yeah, I've got some great memories from growing up, waiting at the newsstands for the latest episode, the latest issue, and see just exactly what's coming, what's on the title, on the cover page, and what can I expect from this month's issue of Nintendo Power Magazine. That was always a lot of fun as a kid growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. So now susreime is completely finished with the item collection section of the game. Now he just has to book a Tuturian. I believe as the magazine says, ... and on Tuturian.
I mean, if I'm going to be really nitpicky, the guide also says something about using a certain number of supers on a certain boss in wrecked shit. And I guess we've decided not to adhere to that, but I always thought it would be a fun meme for two runners to sort of mutually agree. You know what? We're gonna take out Phantoon with 5 supers this time. It's gonna be an all supers fight, and we're gonna go with 5 enrage cycles. I'm pretty sure the guide says now on to Phantoon. 5 supers should suffice. Ooh, BFrobber going for that really nice YOLO jump, just barely missing it there into Amphitheater. Nice attempt, though.
Yeah, there are some really cool ways to do Amphitheater.
You know, I gotta say, Glove, between these two runners that we have here, who've put on quite a show for us today, I'm not sure that you could pick 2 other runners in the entire tournament who collectively have more, and I mean this in the most lovingly way possible, obscure tools in their Super Metroid tool belt, right? I mean, we have some serious capacity for swag between these 2 runners. I'm not sure you could pick 2 others that can do some of the really, really bizarre and wonderful stuff that BFrobber and susreime can.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I think that GT Max race really showed it off, where BFrobber was going for some, I believe, X mode stuff. In like Firefly's room.
Oh yeah, he did that in his race against me as well. He used it actually. He went for X mode stuff in what is it? Climb Supers, the spikes in the backside of Climb Supers, and got it. It looked so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I think got Brainbuster in the same race against me. So it is quite a commanding lead at this point. susreime going now to G4. It's going to be more than just a couple minutes difference between our runners at that time point. I guess really what it comes down to is susreime has the capacity here with the loadout to do stand-up. As Duck suggested to me once when I saved, I think actually in my race against BFrobber, why would you even bother saving? Just don't do stand-up if you're up by that much. But
Did you see that fake out from Ridley? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, not at
Really
all.
just
That was so gross. My goodness, Ridley.
he swooped within an inch of BFrobber and then said, "I'm not really feeling it." But yeah, I think that is a good point. Like, I think, look, if I'm this far ahead and I'm not on like serious PB pace for a category I care about, I'm not doing stand up.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
that
that's
trick
perfectly
is
reasonable.
obnoxious. I hate it.
Yeah, and there's so many places where it can go wrong, right? So when you've got, I mean, I don't know what this is going to wind up being. It might be in excess of 3 minutes at this point. Going for stand-up, especially in a situation where you only have 7 tanks, it just seems like ill-advised, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of my favorite moonfalls in the game. Is that one onto elevator that's a literal frame saver.
Yeah, you need those 8 frames, obviously.
Like, every moonfall is my favorite moonfall in the game. I love the trick so much.
Well, you see it all in Nintendo Power Percent. You see an 8-frame moonfall save here going into Turian, and then you see a, I don't know, 3.5-second moonfall save all the way at the beginning of this category that both of our runners got going down into Spore Spawn Supers.
And not to spark any concern, but I'm looking at susreime's super count here. I don't like what I see.
Yeah, pick up those drops susreime, please.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough missiles to supplement.
Maybe worth resetting this room. Let's see.
Yeah,
Not going for it, though. You can actually reset Metroid Room 4.
This works.
Yeah, it's very slow, but it works.
I mean, because this is effectively the same as 1510 TMTM.
Yeah, in this situation, it won't matter. Obviously, susreime can missile open everything else from here to the end if necessary and be just fine. Presume was going for Spring Ball Baby Skip there. That looks like the setup, and just bonked the first Dust Waver, or Scree rather.
Oh, right. Of course, he can just refill his missile. Yeah, he can just refill his missiles and then he has 1,000,000. So, he's perfectly fine.
Well, this edition of Just Made Sure Chat was paying attention, brought to you by your very much in tune with the game comms crew here. Just making sure that y'all are on top of things.
I was like, yeah, he can, he can missile all the doors he wants and then go back and refill his missiles. Or he could just refill his missiles.
Yeah, I think we both just forgot about just how many missiles you actually have in this category. And maybe that goes to my initial frustration with things like Bubble Mountain missiles, which are routed in a very bizarre way, and then you get to the end of the game here and you've got 95 missiles, and it's like, really, what do I need these all for?
Yeah. Yeah, I think most interesting to me, honestly, is the fact that they route in so many missiles, but they don't route in right supers in Rick Ship. It's like, I mean, Wreck Ship right supers is an item that even like beginning any percent runners can take sometimes.
Yeah, but you got all those missiles. What are you going to take extra supers for?
Oh, you're right, might be.
All right, looks like we will be getting a stand-up attempt here. So Stream turning off Varia.
All right, looks good.
This is going to end up being a really solid time. I think this is going to be the best of his 3 races so far. We're looking at with a well-executed stand-up. It's about 2 minutes and 45 seconds from the baby grab on Mother Brain. So you're looking at maybe a low 107 here, if my math is correct. This is going to be a really, really good time.
Yeah. So the best Nintendo Power percent time of anybody in this tournament is Mr. Guy Average with a 105.16, and of course susreime won't beat that. But the second best time is Bands with Legends with a 108.25.
Yeah, and I expect that we're going to see a bop there, and this is going to put susreime squarely into a very respectable 5th place on the overall leaderboards, assuming he can close this out here.
Oh no, BFrobber Kojak's quite a few supers there in Metroid Room 1. Metroid Room 1 is one of those rooms where it's like, if you're going for optimal strats, and you're just a little bit off, you just become spaghetti.
Well, don't worry, Glove, because if supers are a problem, I'm pretty sure that BFrobber can just refill their missiles.
It's true. Yeah. Also, I liked, we saw a special guest cameo there from the Mother Brain Slow Lock. One of the more common things to see newer stand-up players get and think they've crashed the game. You can actually just hold item cancel to fix it though.
Nice down back there. Fully into the escape for susreime. Are we going to see a blue bomber? Look at that. And the optimal setup too. He didn't even miss the door. He went right into the door frame without triggering that transition. That's a huge time save. It's like a little over a second actually. Nice stuff.
Oh no. BFrobber gets caught there, right there at the end. End faces left, I approve.
Wow, well, I'll say both to you, Glove, and to, any other people who, well, I guess sitting on 1 loss, there won't be any additional matchups if susreime takes another loss in the future. But holy smokes, the difference between susreime now and at the beginning of the tournament is pretty remarkable. Having submitted just the 1 time of the GT Max, and now posting all of these unbelievable times in any percent all bosses, now Nintendo Power percent, obviously the capacity to play very, very well in North Korea percent. This is a scary matchup for anyone. susreime really looks to be in very good form going into these next couple rounds.
Absolutely, and susreime does finish in 1st place, winning the series overall with an official racetime.gg time of 107.56. GG.
Wow, GG.
So, yeah, congrats to susreime for winning this game and the series. He will be moving on to face me in the next round. Oh boy. GG's to BFrobber. 3 incredible races. Unfortunately, given that this is the lower bracket, he will be knocked out of the tournament at this point. But you know, a great performance from him. Nothing to be ashamed of for sure. I think he had two very difficult opponents with this bracket.
Yeah, a tough draw for sure. To look at your winner go home situation and be staring down the barrel to stream is that is a tall task. But if we take a look at the posted times, and I do not believe that BFrobber ran Nintendo Power Percent yet in this tournament. I might be incorrect, but coming in with a 1 hour and 15-minute time. This is shaping up to be another really incredible performance by BFrobber, bringing down another PB even further, like we saw in the previous race.
All right, and it looks like we are joined at this point by the winner of today's race, susreime. GG.
GG.
Thank you for the GGs. Thank you for the commentary. I'm very sorry that the tiebreaker of this race seems to be I had to commit the it's an invalid run that I have completed, so I'm really sorry to I just feel really bad.
Well, susreime, we checked in with the mods when that happened, and there's actually no penalty associated with picking up an unintended item other than just the time loss that you had. So the run itself is still valid with respect to the Nintendo Power category for the purposes of this run.
Right, I am aware, and that's exactly why I feel so bad, because if I win this, but by the tournament rules, I'm probably still winning this race. But it's an invalid run that I completed, right. And Frobber, who I haven't checked, but presumably has completed a valid run, will have to eliminate it. I just feel really sorry that that this is how it turned out. It's just my absent-mindedness there.
Well, and maybe that's a good opportunity to ask a question of one of our talented runners here. I know personally, and this is something Glove and I have talked about on commentary, and I've talked about with other people. It's a difficult thing to prepare 5 vastly different categories. I mean, obviously you're very, very well adept at GT Max, but you didn't post times in any of the other categories. You're posting very lovely times in them now. Can you talk a little bit about the preparation and how you have tried to deal with so many different rooms, so many different strats? How do you keep it straight in your head? What is your strategy for that?
I think that's a fantastic question, and as you can see by my picking up the 1 extra missile after Croc, I do need more preparation. So preparing for 5 categories is really for anyone who's in tournament. It's really difficult, and you have to constantly fight against your muscle memories. And for myself personally, think that's super. Also, GG's to Frobber as well. GG's to Frobber.
GG.
I personally think Super Metroid is such a movement-heavy game, so my preparation usually is just to keep practicing the fundamentals during some of the movement-heavy rooms, like climb harder over and over again. And after I get all the upgrades like high jump boost and speed booster, I do rooms like Red Tower and Kite Hunter Stairs and 3 Musketeers over and over again, because those rooms are those test your ability to control stamina with the upgraded power-ups. So that's how I usually keep my stamina in shape. As for the strategies for the categories, it is really draining to constantly thinking ahead what during each item fanfare, going over the strategies for the next rooms, for the next segments, and checking the ammos for the checking whether the animals are sufficient for where I am at during the run. So yeah, so it's just a lot of mental challenges that I'm just working through during the fanfares and transitions and elevator rides. And really, there's no real secret to to I don't know, to my performance. It's just thinking ahead, focusing on the runs, and keeping my Samus in shape.
All right. We are joined now by BFrobber as well. BFrobber, GG.
GG.
Yeah, GG. That's a interesting run. Went from like minus 40 to plus 10. And then back to like minus 15. Ended it off
so
with this.
that was a PB for you then, is that right?
No, I ended it off with a strong plus 45.
Oh. Still a really wonderful improvement starting off. I think the time you posted coming into the tournament was 1:15:18. So it looks like you've made quite a bit of progress in this category. But I understand being so far ahead and then ending up plus 45 is pretty frustrating. How do you feel generally about the 3-set race?
I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. I'm glad that I could update my bad any percent all bosses PB.
Yeah, really enjoyed racing against BFrobber during the 3 races. And the 3 races, the 3 categories we played were personally my top 3 categories in this tournament. By top 3, I mean my top 3 favorite. Just really fun categories to play. So I liked racing against you.
Yeah, it's fun races.
Well, GG to both of our runners, BFrobber and susreime. You put on quite a show for us, especially the 2 that we got today. Both of you had incredible all bosses races. susreime, you posted a really lovely time. Did you have you played? I know you've done some any percent dashless before that you've posted. Is this a relatively new category for you and the any percent all bosses? I think a lot of people, they come in, running any percent very first as their category, right? And you've actually taken a sort of more non-traditional route through Super Metroid. So how do you feel about any percent all bosses as a category?
Right. So to be very honest, all 4 categories other than max percent, I touched them for the first time entering this category. Just like most other runners, most other entrants, and any percent all bosses I felt that it was actually the easiest to prepare. Oh, sorry, max percent was the easiest to prepare, but then any percent all bosses was perhaps the second easiest, just because I sort of know the strategies from watching other any percent runners, and it was a matter of, and I personally feel like the strategies in any percent all bosses were mostly about Samus's movement. There weren't anything like say in North Korea you have to do the grapple escape from Dragon. I really struggled learning with learning that category because that's not exactly a kind of input they have to you have to come across when you play Super Metroid normally. Whereas any percent all bosses, I feel like it was just about how well can you optimize your wall jumps, space jumps. There wasn't any special particular tricks that you had to do. Like even in Nintendo Power Percent, entering the spring ball area without space jump is something I constantly struggle with, because that's something I never practice, and it doesn't exactly have to do with your movement. It's just about learning that room. And 80% all bosses, right? I feel
That's
like
right. I mean, what did you say before? How do you keep your Samus in shape, right? This is some of those really bizarre things that you need to do in some of those categories. There's just no consistency. that you can pick up because you're not doing them in any other place, right?
Exactly. And even though 80% all bosses as a the category itself has a lot of text, it's mostly stuff that I mostly skills that I nurtured in a more natural way by just enjoying, just playing Super Metroid naturally, and just enjoying the game, going through Zebes. Just going through Zebes will prepare me for 80% all bosses. I felt like, whereas the other categories had stuff that you had to specifically focus on. So indeed, so I do think 80% all bosses was the second easiest category to prepare for.
Well, and it certainly showed. You posted a lovely time, even with saving the animals and a bit of a hiccup in the climb there. So GG, and thank you so much for putting on a show. We were saying, Glove and I, that I don't think you could pick two more wonderful runners to showcase all of the unconventional and incredible strats that you can pull off in Super Metroid. So from the comms booth, we're really grateful to both of you for some of the really cool stuff that you were able to show us over these races.
I'm glad to hear that. And in fact, yeah, BFrobber being opponent, I will be looking through the two races that we did today. But Frobber is such a flashy runner in that he does all the swag fit stuff that nobody ever does. I think it really showed in our Max GT race last week. If anyone has watched, Frobber did some really crazy things just to showcase the game. Really, it wasn't really about saving frames or going fast. So Frobber did strategies that were aimed entirely to showcase the game, showcase the category. So I personally do agree that I couldn't have had a better opponent than Frobber who could just really demonstrate how cool these categories, these extension categories, and Super Metroid are. So really, I'm really grateful to Frobber for picking the categories that he did and racing me in the last 2 weeks.
All right. Well, I'll say one final GG to both runners, and I'll thank both of you for the wonderful performance. Susreime, you've got my co-commentator here, Glove, up as your next opponent, so you can start throwing down your sparring words now and get yourself ready for the next round if you so choose. But other than that, I'll pass it over to Glove. I'll say thank you for joining me on comms. I had a lovely time, and I'll let you close us out, sir. Thank you so much to all three of you for taking part in this really cool experience with me.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, susreime, you're a really terrifying opponent.
I can say that I can say the same to you, Glove, for how for your strong times in North Korea, really the one category that I constantly dread. So, but knowing that North Korea is your favorite and you've got some really cool tech to show off for that category, I'll tell you that I will not be vetoing North Korea now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just so that because I really think this whole extension category tournament, I feel like my personal goal and a big objective for taking part in is really just to show off how cool these extension categories are and how cool Super Metroid is. So knowing your super unique and interesting route choice for North Korea, I think all the viewers would love to see it. So I will not be vetoing it for sure.
Well, if you are not vetoing North Korea, then I will not veto GT Max.
No, well.
Wow, folks, you heard it here first. Glove and susreime up in the next round. Keep your eyes peeled on that schedule. I'll remind everyone this is our 2021 Super Metroid multi-category extension tournament. All of these runners are playing for survival in this tournament. This is our redemption bracket. It is double elimination. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm very excited for potential for North Korea and GT Max between these two talented runners, Glove and susreime.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I look forward to it. And in the meantime, be sure to go follow both of these talented runners. Go follow susreime. Go follow BFrobber. If you would be so kind, go follow the commentary team as well. I've been Glove, and I've been joined by Professor School. And I believe with everything else out of the way, that's going to be just about it from us here at SpeedGaming. And so we'll see you next mission.
Thanks, everyone. See you next mission.
Thank you for the commentaries. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Frobber.
Yeah, thank you for the races. It was fun.